And welcome back to episode 19 of the Off Topic Podcast. Yes, this one actually is 19. The other one would have been, but we had a corrupted video. So we are back. The one you were more than likely saw today was episode 18, filmed about 2 weeks ago-ish. But yes, that aside, that was all our theories for Loki without Chris, but we are back in full force, all three of us. And I guess, as always, I'm Tom. You can find me on Facebook at Thomas Steinman and in the MCU Fans Assemble group. Also on Twitter at tsteinman13, where you can probably find me a little bit more active now that my internet will be back up and running. I'm also joined by Chris today.
Hello, yes, I'm back. Good to be here. And yes, you can find me on Facebook, on the MCU group as well, and on Twitter at Bag1982.
And we're also joined by Zach.
Yo guys, I'm Zach. I got myself a Twitter account as well. MCU Zach Crew, ZACHKRU. I'm very, very picky with my name spelling of Zach. But you can also find me at the MCU Fans Assemble Facebook page, which I think that page is about 2.5 years strong now. We've been going.
Yep.
MCU Fans Assemble. And like I said last week or the week before, you're going to hear MCU Fans Assemble a lot because I want to test out if the algorithm and Google works that way.
I guess we'll find out.
Right?
But today, mainly, we will be discussing episode 1 of Loki, which we're
so good.
actually getting episode 2 in 2 days. So, yes, we're a bit behind. Don't hate us. But,
Is it 2 days?
Yep. Wednesday.
They switched to Wednesday. They switched to Wednesdays now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I thought they were going to keep it on Fridays and make us wait longer. But, okay,
Wednesdays.
that excites me now.
Mm-hmm.
Day and a half, actually, not 2 days. Day and a half.
Yeah.
Really.
It comes out at 3 a.m. Well,
Counting them down.
for me, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
3,
see,
yep, 3 a.m. for me as well.
it's 8 a.m. for me, so I can get up, have my breakfast, and get it done. Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking about what I'm going to do for this next episode, because I do work, and, like, I have to be up at 5 for my work, so I was like, do I just get up at 4 instead? Just have a little extra time to just watch the show?
Go to bed early.
Yeah. I think
Get
I'm
up
going to have to
early,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But as
Yeah.
usual for all of the other series that we've gone over so far, heavy spoilers. This one probably more so than all of the other ones, which you'll see once we get into it.
Yeah, like I said before, a lot of the stuff we saw in the trailer all came out of episode 1. I mean, I did not see that coming. Like,
Me neither.
I'm glad.
literally, like 3/4 of the trailers we got all were in episode 1.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that just makes me think, like, what the hell is gonna happen in this show?
This, I mean, you're right, but this is what I've said this before. I've got a thing about trailers that they put far too much in, and to me this was just brilliant. Like, yeah, everything that was in the trailer was in that first episode. Right, what is coming now? And like you say, Zach, it could be anything. I'm so happy about it.
Seriously, I think it's the best. I think it's the best. This is gonna be the best Disney Plus show
Yeah.
that Marvel is giving us. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because Loki's one of my favorite
Partially,
characters,
though.
but yeah, that does have a lot to do with it. But like, man,
Yeah.
they can be giving us some stuff to talk about, think about.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah. Here's sorry, Zach.
like oh well, like we said, one of our theories did come true, you know, when we were like, hey, what if Loki runs into another variant of himself? And well, little to be known, that's actually a huge part of the show.
S- Actually,
Mm.
yeah, that kind of segues into what I was gonna ask you guys. Are you okay if we do this a bit differently from how we usually do our podcast, where instead of going breaking it down like frame by frame pretty much throughout the whole episodes, we just kind of dive into like I guess the meatiest parts?
Go for it. Yeah,
I mean,
happy
Yeah,
with that.
I'm down to do this one differently.
I mean,
Yeah.
first off, with the Loki variant that they're chasing, because there's now two. So at the end of the episode, Mobius reveals, that is the character Owen Wilson plays, that the variant they're chasing is also Loki.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. And we had, like Zach and I did discuss this the other week, that it's more than likely gonna happen. We also did say it's probably Lady Loki. We don't know
Mhm.
that 100% yet, but I still think it is.
I
I was. Sorry, Zach. I, I was just gonna say I was wondering whether or not, and the fact that we didn't see in that end sort of that end scene where I'm assuming it's the Loki with a hood on. We don't see the face, and that did make me think, oh, is it because it's Lady Loki, and they're just going to hold that back till maybe episode 2, perhaps. But looking at the trailers, there's a lot of the trailers. He's got his headpiece on with the horns,
yep.
and I think that's what the in that scene. I don't know if they're in a church when we first see. Is it when we first see Morbius
Yeah, in
and the little
France.
boy? Yes, I think it was France. Anyway, the little boy comes in and points to the devil. Um, Not Mephisto, no.
Yes.
But I think that's just Loki with the headwear on, and I'm wondering if that's the variant Loki what we see in the trailers. So when we've seen Loki in the trailers with the head, what is it? Is it? I keep saying the head, the headwear.
I
I don't
think
know.
it.
It's like a
You know
crown
what
or
I mean?
I
something, or
think
like
it
Yeah,
a
headwear's helmet maybe.
helmet.
It's not
I don't
exactly
know.
a crown, I guess, because like it's not from Jotunheim, is it? It's not something from like Asgard. It's just more so something he wears.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's a fancy
yeah,
hat.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I think the scenes we've seen in the trailers where he's wearing that, I think that is the variant Loki. So, Lady Loki, I'm not saying we're not going to see it because I've seen stuff on Twitter about Lady Loki. Has she been yeah, or has the character been confirmed for Loki? I
No,
thought
I
hard,
don't think they're
but
confirmed, but
heavily rumored.
heavily,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
and well,
Mm, okay.
it's kind of semi-confirmed now because like the Lego sets came out recently this week, and Lego
There's a,
sets aren't exactly wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
you know, Tom Hiddleston said too that crown thing he wears is like real. I think he said it's made out of like not steel, but he says it's
Oh.
very heavy on his head. Like
Hmm.
he said he hates wearing it, but he loves the iconic look of it though, that like even though it's heavy, he loves to wear it.
Yeah. To be honest though, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it was not Lady Loki that's the variant that they're chasing, because I do think that's what a lot of people like us have been theorizing, that oh yeah, it's Lady Loki. We saw like the redhead in the trailer. They're like, yeah, that's not Black Widow. We're like, oh, here's the one other person it could be. Um,
Yep.
it does seem like very obvious, and I feel like this is a show that's not gonna make it obvious for us. So I wonder if maybe Lady Loki ends up helping like the 2012 variant Loki like that we're following, and maybe that's how she comes into the story. But I don't know. The more you now that you mention it, Chris, I'm on board with that. That Loki is not Lady Loki, the one that the
Yeah.
TVA
Yeah.
is chasing.
Yeah. Yeah. the only thing that threw me on that was that last scene where they didn't show. I don't know why. Why did they not show? The Loki who was setting the TVA guys on fire and whatever. You know what I mean? Why they kept it footage? I mean, it might just be to get us talking. Maybe I don't know. It might be something as simple as that. And they've thought, we don't need to show his face at the end of episode 1 because we'll show it at the beginning of episode 2. Perhaps I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
why I thought it was Lady Loki, just because, like,
Mm,
okay, it's been confirmed that he's hunting down himself,
yeah.
but that's why I just kind of figured it was Lady Loki. Like, okay, we know he's looking for himself, but why would you not show his face then? You
E-
know?
Exactly. Yeah. And
Actually,
yeah,
I'm
I
just
agree.
thinking
Or
about this
sorry,
now. Why would any
or
version of
her
Loki
face.
not try to gloat? That's
Right.
what Loki
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
You know what
I'm gonna reach on another theory. What if it's Kang pretending to be Loki?
Oh, you brought him in
Ooh.
straight away, haven't you?
Oh yeah, like because I knew he was
Or
gonna get talked about, but like
what
I
if
don't
it's the
know because
beekeeper? No, I'm just
originally
kidding.
I did maybe that
Oh,
could be a variant. Think about it. We never saw him.
oh,
Or
oh,
Mephisto.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No, let's not go down
Reed,
that route
Reed,
yet.
Yeah,
Reed Richards. We'll throw his name in
yeah.
right now.
Right. Uh, you know what I do like though? I just want to go a little off topic. Um, like our biggest concern was like, Loki had the perfect arc. Like he became, kind of a hero before his death.
Yeah.
But like in that first episode, they nailed it. Like they're setting up another good arc for him. I mean, he got to see how his life played out after 2012, and you could just tell by his great facial acting. I mean,
Mm,
but they showed really well that he had a change of what's the word? Change of heart
mm,
about who he is. Because he got to see how his life played out, and he
yeah.
looked very displeased when he saw his death came at the hands of Thanos.
Mm, yeah.
And my theory is that the Loki that he's chasing didn't watch that part. He probably found that all the Infinity Stones were there. I think that he's collected all the Infinity Stones right there and then left, and now is searching for like a gauntlet for himself,
Ooh.
and is going to try and take over. I don't even want to say just Midgard, but like
Everything.
literally take over everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, I like.
I do love how they pretty much just made the Infinity Stones like useless. They're what did he call them? Paperweights.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was to me that was the moment where Loki realized that actually what he was doing before was point basically I think effectively collecting the stone, or certainly in that moment just after 20, well he was in 2012, wasn't he? He was trying to get Earth and the stones effectively for, well actually no, he wasn't, was he? He wasn't trying to get the stones for Thanos, but he
Yeah.
obviously knew about them. And I think that in that moment when he saw them all in that drawer, I think he realized then how powerful the TVA is, and that's where he needs to be. Like, why go back when he's in the most powerful place now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
I
the
like that
TVA
moment.
seems to be the strongest, part of the universe, I guess.
Mm,
So far.
yeah,
Like literally, like everything else is, yeah, powerless opposed to the TVA so far.
Well, yeah, that's just it. And especially because they're working with timelines. And I'm assuming they're taking the same approach with the Infinity Stones as they do in the comics, which is that the Infinity Stones don't work if they aren't in the universe that they originated from. So that's why none of the stones at the TVA work, because that's from what I kind of understand about it right now, that's outside of. They're protecting the sacred timeline, but it's not a part of that timeline. It's outside of it. So it's not actually a part of any timeline. So that's why they can just use the Infinity Stones freely, because there's no stone set in technically their universe, I guess it'd be, even though it's not really a universe.
So where do you think the TVA is?
I think
Everywhere
it's in
but
the
nowhere.
quantum realm.
Quantum realm.
I
Ooh.
do, and
Mm.
I'm gonna bring Kang back into this. I do think the TVA is Kang's city. That whole the whole
Ooh.
look of it
Right.
looks very similar to how it does in the comics.
Oh,
And you know
really?
what? It does look pretty similar to the little. I can't remember what the city's called off the top of my head.
No, it
But it
starts with a
looks
C, I think.
yeah. But there was a little shot of it in I think it was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
No, I think it was the first Ant-Man.
It might have been
Was
both.
it?
But yeah, I was just
In the
about to bring
quantum realm
up.
for sure. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
very similar looking.
I did want to bring up. I want to look at. I want to
Chronopolis,
find that
that's it.
scene. I want to find that scene and do like a little side by side like visual, and
Yeah.
see if they match up.
Well, because we
Because
saw
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
right because we've seen it. I assume we've seen it from two different sides because obviously in Loki we've seen it from the inside, and then in Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp, whichever one, from the outside.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because the other thing is when you bring in Kang, and this is just what I picked up on social media, is and I think her name is Ravonna Renslayer. She's the judge. I don't think she's actually named in that episode. And again, I don't know if you guys can maybe help me out on this. But my understanding is that she's the girlfriend partner of Kang. Is that in the comics?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
And
Um,
yeah, I don't know. I I mean, I don't really feel like I can say too much because, as Marvel Studios has shown, they don't adapt directly from the comics.
yeah.
But,
Yeah. Well, sometimes they do, though.
yes.
Yeah. So
But I was thinking more so like direct. Actually, I guess it's not really a whole storyline. I don't think she's
how,
gonna be his motivation to do whatever he eventually does. But I wonder
yeah.
if we kind of. I don't know. I kind of think they're already together at this point in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why.
I
But
I, I found it because it seemed like, and I don't know if this is just because Owen Wilson's just the way Owen Wilson portrays many characters, but it just seemed like he was flirting with her when he was sort of like talking up to her, and but I might have read too much into it. I don't know, but I didn't know if there was a connection between them two, perhaps. No.
not that I can remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
there might be. I wouldn't
yeah.
doubt it.
It is the Timekeepers. Are they in the comics?
Yep, the TVA is
Yeah,
as well.
right. Okay. Oh
Pretty
yeah, I knew the
similar role.
TVA. Right. Do you ever find out who the time? Because again, rumors, and I'm not buying into this one. That Kang apparently looks like one of the timekeepers on the various. We didn't see many
Oh,
sort of images of the
yeah.
timekeepers, but I think you could probably read into that if you wanted to be that, then you probably could. I've seen images of Kang and think, well, yeah, you could look like one of them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
So.
I'm kind of in the same boat there. Because, like, if you
Yeah.
look hard enough at it, one of them kind of looks like the Goliath suit from the Ant-Man comics,
Mm.
which it's definitely not. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I I wouldn't be surprised if he was a timekeeper. Because I think at this point, we all kind of know more or less that even if he's not going to directly be in the series, his presence will be felt in the series.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But he's confirmed for Quantum Ant-Man Quantum Mania, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's confirmed for that. Given what we've seen, particularly in one division, I think he's just going to be heavily hinted. I don't think we will see him. Uh, Maybe again that's Marvel doing the old, we're going to give you nothing in one division, but in Loki, bang, there's a load of stuff there.
Yeah.
So maybe he will come in, but I'm erring on the erring on caution and saying no, we're not going to see him. But yeah, heavily hinted, I would say.
I'm going to stick with you right there.
Sitting on the fence
Yeah.
with us. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I do have a big theory about the TVA. And Zach, I don't know if this is going to be the same theory that you have about them, but
Well, let's see if it is.
all right, let's do it. So Miss Minutes, when she's giving the exposition dump to Loki, once he takes his ticket and is waiting in line, she says that the variants create like these different branches, and if there was no TVA or timekeepers to what's the word, take care of it, I guess,
Keep
that
it in line. Yeah.
that the multiverse would go into madness. So for one, I'm going to say
Ooh.
this. I think the TVA has to be destroyed by the end of this series in order for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness to truly go into effect. But my other ones goes to the beginning of what she said about how long ago there was a multiversal war. Now, this multiversal war she talks about is eerily similar to the plotline of Secret Wars in the comics, which is pretty much the biggest Marvel event ever, where basically heroes are assembled on Battle World by this being called the Beyonder, heroes and villains, and basically kind of told to fight. And it's heroes and villains from different universes, and especially in the 2015 one, that was basically the Ultimate Universe slammed into the main Marvel universe. That
Nice.
sounds like what that was going to be. Now, my thought was, why did they drop us the Easter egg that this Secret Wars event happened in the past? And then I remembered what Hulk said. So that if you go back in time, that past is now your future. And like your former
Yeah.
future cannot be impacted by that past. So I honestly think it might be a time loop that at the quote unquote end of the MCU, they're going to have the Secret Wars event. It's going to end. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be 3 Avengers will become the timekeepers and create the TVA. Just so it goes full circle.
Oh wow.
That was my theory on it.
What
Right.
3 Avengers do you think?
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know, because honestly I don't know who they're gonna pick for it, because if they're doing Secret Wars, I think RDJ is fair game. Patrick Stewart and
Strange.
Ian McKellen would be. Oh, Strange 100%. Steve Rogers.
Which? Scarlet?
Yep. Hugh Jackman even. Like they could bring anyone in. And I
Yeah.
personally I think Iron Man and Cap probably would be the big ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Iron Man for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know if you caught this in the beginning when Loki was getting, when they're like, "Oh, what do you plead? Guilty, innocent?" Hold on, I had it written down. Um, he was aware of the Avengers time traveling.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Like
I
that
think
just
that
kind of
they kind of made that decently somewhat clear in Iron Man. or Iron Man, Endgame, because he did kind of watch Scott run across and kick the thing, kind of turned and looked.
Yeah,
And even his one line in this, he's like, "You could smell the cologne of two Tony Starks."
Yeah, I
yeah,
think he's just made an assumption. I think he's just made a sort of a bit of an assumption. Yeah, because he sees Ant-Man or he sees something
Yeah.
kick the suitcase. I think and whether or not he does, he sounds like he smells. He says he smells two Tony Stark. So I think he's just sort of made an assumption that that's what they've done. But obviously he brings it back on him and saying they were obviously gone back in time to you
What?
know to save
No.
the future
I'm
from
doing my
him, from
podcast right
Loki.
now.
So
or as they call it, the sacred timeline.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, what I found strange is why can't the in that moment where Loki picks up, he goes to Mongolia, is it? That's where he lands.
I think so.
Why can't
Yep,
why
yep.
can't they why can't they just pick him up and put him back where he was?
Because I think he's already started a new timeline.
Is that it? Is it
And,
right?
and I think
Okay.
it's because he's so. Because he started a new timeline in 2012, for sure.
With him going,
Yeah. But
yeah.
then wouldn't he also have started another new timeline in wherever he ended up as well?
Mongolia. Is it Mongolia? It was Mongolia, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because I'm
Yeah,
assuming
Mongolia.
that probably isn't the same.
But the set, them, I don't know what they're called. Reset charges, I
Yeah.
think they were called. I'm not quite sure what they do. Maybe that reset charge would reset things in Mongolia because he hasn't really changed that much. All that needs to be done is them people that came up to him. They just need to be reset where they were.
I think
See
those
that
charges
reset
destroy the timelines.
that reset charge
Ooh.
just reminds me of whatever that thing is called in Men in Black. You
Oh,
know,
the
where
Yeah,
flat.
they
Yeah. Oh,
where
no.
yeah,
they
Sorry.
like their mind.
Yeah. Mhm.
I
yeah,
feel like that's what like that kind of is.
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
it destroys the timeline.
That
It just
that
kind of
makes
resets it to where they can.
Because think about
Yeah,
Miss Minutes, like, thing. Like, he puts the thing there, he presses it in the little animation slide that she kind of gives us, and then the timeline disappears. And when Loki's looking back at that timeline as they reset it, we start to see that little purple glow, and he looks almost
yeah,
horrified. And then
yeah,
yeah.
the
He
only other
does,
time we see a similar purple glow is when one of the Minutemen prunes that guy who's like, that guy didn't give me a ticket. And he has that purple glow around him as he disintegrates.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
So I think they're
And is
just
that
killing
and is
everything.
that why Morbius told the kid just to go outside? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. I didn't know if it was just sort of like rewound time,
I mean,
but
it could.
yeah, that no, but that I think that makes more sense.
I
Because I,
just.
because I was thinking, well, okay, my thinking was you can rewind time, but surely you need to rewind time to put Loki back in 2012.
Yeah.
But if they just went to 2012, if they went to that timeline of 2012 and just erase that particular,
Jeez.
yeah, okay. Mm. You
I
get
think that's what they're. I don't know. I didn't really think of it too deep like that until when Loki watches himself die. Just kind of how loud the sound of Thanos breaking his neck is.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
Yeah, that was
disturbingly
brutal.
loud. And
and
like I was like that's not how it was in the movie. Like
well,
No.
I watched it. I mean, I've watched it 3 times now actually, and the third time I watched it with subtitles on, and it actually says "bone cracking."
mhm.
Oh, great! Yes, I can hear it, but then for the words to come up, "bone cracking." Oh, great, great, thanks. Yeah, that just spelled it out for me.
They just did that. I'm like, okay, I guess they're going dark.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me
So
because I do think the TVA is going to be the quote unquote villain of this series. by
Right.
the end, and that's why I also think it's going to be destroyed.
Okay.
I mean,
It,
part of the reason, but
yeah. I mean, throughout this whole episode, there seems to be sort of well, Loki is the only one really doing a questioning. What I mean, that's saying a few scenes really. The scene with the judge, what you call again, Renslayer.
Renslayer, yeah.
And he's like, she's saying the timekeepers are, protecting the sacred timeline. He's questioning her, and she hasn't really got an answer for him. And then I think later on he questions Morbius as well. And again, he hasn't really got answers. He's just sort of they all seem to just be going along with the fact that yeah, we get told to do stuff and we're doing it. So there does seem to be something up, something a little bit dodgy already, and it seems to be concentrated on the timekeepers, because they're unknown. But yeah, I'm happy to go along with that theory that come the end the TVA are gone, but that would directly sort of go into Doctor Strange, maybe Spider-Man, perhaps. I don't know.
Oh no, I think I might have just dug myself a deeper theory just thinking about that. Because, yes, this is going to tie into Doctor Strange, and the TVA has to get broken in order for the multiverse to go
Yeah,
into madness. But who have
that
we been told the whole time that sends the multiverse into madness? It's the Scarlet Witch.
the
So,
sorry, go on.
so did
Go
she destroy the TVA?
on. I think we've been led down. I think we've been led down a different path with WandaVision.
Yeah.
I think we've, and again, and this is something that we were sort of discussing a little bit on the chat earlier, where there's so many theories flying around on social media and different things. Even Marvel are putting stuff out there. You know what I mean? And some of it might be fake, and
Excuse me,
and
sorry.
I think a lot of things that are out there in my head now are actually true. And I think the whole WandaVision starting the multiverse of madness, for some reason that's gone in my head. But I think now, looking at Loki, and I think it was the comic, like the cartoon clip with Miss Minute, where she was saying this is, it was all madness, and now it's just one timeline, one sacred timeline. And I'm thinking, this is it. This is where it all goes. It's up. It's not wonder. It's not wonder. It's going to happen here. Loki or the TV or something's going to happen here. Um, I've never thought about Wanda appearing in Loki mind. Well, I don't know.
I don't think
That
she will directly.
no, no, but I don't know. My theory, not necessarily theory, but my thoughts before you just mentioned that was that Loki or the Loki series, not necessarily Loki, but something will happen to turn the multiverse mad, or whatever the terminology is. And I think that's going to play into Doctor Strange, and that's when, and I think Wanda now is just going to appear in Doctor Strange to help him out. So this whole sort of idea where we thought, is Wanda going to be a baddie or what? Now I'm thinking, no, she's got the power to help Doctor Strange, and I think she might just be a pure goodie coming into it.
I think I'm going to have to hop on the opposite side of that.
Oh,
I
right.
think I I do not think she will show up in the series, and I will stand by that. If she does, I would be
Mm,
overwhelmingly happy, as I feel all of us would be probably. But like,
yeah,
that's besides the point. She's looking for her kids, and they don't exist in this universe. And I think she hears those voices at the end of WandaVision and that end credit scene. She hears Billy and
yeah,
Tommy yell. I think she's gonna reach into the multiverse and tear it apart for the most part. And by that, well, sorry, not the multiverse. I think she's gonna kind of reach into the TVA, help destroy it more or less. I do think Loki's gonna play a part in it, but I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for specific red hues all around because I wouldn't be surprised if we just see chaos magic just happening as well while the TVA is being destroyed, because yes, Loki probably would want that too, I'm guessing, by the end of this series. But also, if Wanda needs into the multiverse and this is the way she has to go through it, then I wouldn't doubt it that she wouldn't be trying either.
I'd argue with anything you said there. Yep.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
like, do you think maybe Agatha has anything to do with it too? Because I mean, in the quantum realm, we do see a lot of purple hue, which I know could also be Dormammu, because he has a lot of purple in there too.
But Agatha's like
But
under control of Wanda right now.
oh yeah, that's right. So then, I mean, then obviously Dormammu still has his story. I don't think is done yet.
I definitely agree with that.
Within the Marvel universe. You know, as to how they're gonna bring him back in or when is a big question, because obviously Kang is, you know, the next. I don't want to say like the next big bad for a while.
See, that's just it, 'cause I don't think he is.
Well, that's what you know, I don't think he's gonna be the big bad as Thanos was.
Yeah.
He obviously is making his introduction into the MCU fairly soon, but you know, they got to bring more of Dormammu in. I mean, we saw him for what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in Doctor Strange. Yeah, and I mean, we heard him get talked about more than we actually saw him. You know, but definitely, I don't know. Dormammu was always one of my favorites. Big bad next to Galactus. And I would really, really love to see more of Dormammu in there. Totally going way off topic than what we were just talking about, but
No,
you know, hey, that's why our podcast is called Off Topic. But
yeah, I agree. I think Dormammu was not wasted. I don't think it was necessarily wasted in Doctor Strange, but
no, but I think he was
it'd be
rushed into the storyline.
Yeah.
It would be a waste not to use him again. I think that clearly left him on the plate. You know, he's still there, isn't he? So
He was rushed into the story and underplayed, basically. Like, you know, it's like they were making the plot for the movie and was just like, oh, hey, let's bring in Dormammu. Shit, we only have this amount of time left in the movie. Let's throw him in here and get rid of him. Like, what the hell?
I think it's so hard to set up like such an iconic villain for anyone. In my mind, like, I don't even think he wasn't really even technically the villain of that movie. It was Caecilius, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, right.
Like, we haven't even, he hasn't even got his time to shine yet. Like, we better get that in Doctor Strange 3, because I'm trying to think. They did announce the villain for the Multiverse of Madness. Was it Shaman Goth? I think.
Right.
I think that's what it's called. I might be butchering that, but
no, I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. And it's not Chthon either. Which makes me think they're probably just going to go back to Dormammu for the next one after this. But
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And you guys, I did bring it up in the chat. You guys did hear that little nightmare reference to where Loki was like, this is a nightmare. Oh no, that's a different department. I'll help you burn down that one. Like, I love that little reference there.
Yeah, social media's gone a little bit. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media about that. It's like, they're just playing. You know what I mean? The no the thing is, Marvel now know certain words that they can just throw in there. And images, you know, stick an image of a devil in, and everyone's going to go mental thinking it's Mephisto. So it's just let's just throw a lot of images and little key words and watch everyone go mental about it. So, and I think that nightmare one was just a nice little,
Oh, and I think it went over a lot of people's heads too. Like, I don't think a lot of people caught that either.
Possibly, yeah.
I feel like a lot of the people who've been like making the theories about it too didn't even catch it, because like I watched some videos after and I was like, you didn't even mention this, and like I've heard you rant for months about how Nightmare's going to be the next, like, what? Okay.
Yeah, and then he gets brought up, and everyone's just like, what?
It's like, yeah, we won't worry about it.
You you talking about there about Secret Wars, and this isn't something I picked up um until I watched it with the subtitles on, but there was a variant Skrull mentioned at the very start.
Yes, I
Um,
heard that. The variant scroll.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's
yeah,
like, what? They're like, what race? And he said, variant scroll.
yeah. See, I
Yeah,
didn't hear
I
that.
There's
I
multiple
actually
variants.
caught that on my third rewatching it today. That I actually
Yeah,
caught that today.
I only
yeah.
saw the scroll. Like the first time I watched it, and then the two times after, I did have subtitles on, so I did see that. But I just kind of caught the scroll. I'm like, hey,
Again, again, it's just are they not just throwing, you know, a word in that we know we're all going to go, oh, a scroll. I don't know.
well, right after when Mobius gets taken out of the room by, I'm trying to think, the one agent, and Loki kind of teleports away.
Yeah.
A TVA portal opens behind him, and who walks through but Peggy Carter and a Minuteman? What? What
Did Peggy
timeline?
Car
Like, is
is
that
it
the
Peggy
Agent
Car?
Cardi timeline, or like? Well, yeah, that's true. Also,
Piggy party.
was it Haley Atwell?
It wasn't Peggy Carter though.
Probably not.
I've I've seen this on I think it might have been Twitter or whatever, but I love it. And it does look a little bit like Peggy Carter, the style. You know what I mean? It's the 40s type style, but yeah, I hope it is. I hope
Yeah.
it is.
You know what'd be cool? What if that's the Peggy Carter from the What If series, the Captain Britain?
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah,
I
I
feel
would
like
like
if it
that.
was, we would have seen her in the suit, but like,
Yeah,
still,
still
yeah.
cool. Yeah. The other thing, just at the start, when Loki's dropping through the trapdoors, do you think it's a cat or a flurkin?
Flirkin, 100%, hands
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
when he
hope.
was when he kept dropping in the beginning, all that kept going through my head was, I've been falling for
For
30
30
minutes.
minutes.
And I love that too. This is uh where he said like this is top notch or whatever Asgardian leather, and it just or evaporate it
Hold very
like
still,
fuck
please.
your leather.
Yeah. That reminded me a little bit of the scene where Thor gets his hair cut
Yeah.
and he's pleading with the Stan Lee who's about to cut his hair. He's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm please, sir, don't cut my hair."
Yeah.
Please don't cut
It
my
goes
hair.
it goes from look, you cannot do this to me to all, and like, oh no, please don't do it. Just reminded me a little, sort of mirroring that a little bit.
Now hang
Yeah.
You
on.
know, I really wish Stan Lee was still alive because
Oh,
I feel like with the Loki series, I feel like you would have had a big role to play
Yeah.
being one of the Watchers. I feel like this would have been a series that he wouldn't have had just one cameo. I feel like he would have had more of a bigger role.
Yeah. And
yeah, yeah,
I guess this is going even more off topic, but like it's even more upsetting that Jack Kirby passed in the 90s before his issues with Marvel were even solved. To the fact where like his name wasn't on any Marvel projects that were released until I think after 2012,
right,
and or
right,
something like that. And like this is one of the guys who helped create some of the biggest characters,
yeah,
So,
Marvel and DC.
yeah, yeah.
So
I don't know if this is just great timing or what, but so on my Chromebook, I opened up Disney Plus to the Loki series, and I wish I could screenshot, but Disney Plus does not allow you to screenshot at all. But
just like Netflix.
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Never tried
literally,
it.
just because I was talking about it, I'm gonna take a picture of my on my phone and see if I can send it to you. But when the guy's walking through, and he said, and this guy kept saying he was gonna turn me into a
To a
fish.
fish.
There's a picture on the wall of the TVA, and it says always watching, and it's a watcher.
Oh, right.
Like I that's funny because I literally just was saying about Stan Lee being a watcher,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
just opened up Disney Plus, and I guess this is where I left off on one of the scenes. But yeah, I'm literally gonna take a picture. I don't know if you guys caught it at all.
I didn't
It's
see the
No,
Watcher.
I missed that one.
I did see a few of the other signs though, because one of them I think says, "What is it? It's like follow your time or there will be consequence or something like that," and it's just very straightforward, but like very threatening. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is what I sort of feel sorry for Loki in a way because
Mhm.
he hasn't really done anything wrong. You know what I mean? And he's sort of blaming the Avengers, saying, "Well, they're the ones, they're the ones that traveled through time. I just picked up the
Yeah.
Tesseract and tried to escape." And it was about to be what's the term again when you when they get hit with them sticks, glow sticks type things.
Yeah,
Oh, what's the term again? Anyway,
I know what you
prune,
mean.
prune.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
prune?
pruned.
Get pruned. Yeah. Basically evaporated.
I almost said plumbed,
So
but
pruned.
it's pruned. Yeah.
Similar. Similar. Yeah. But yeah, he hasn't really done anything wrong. And yet he was about to be pruned. So but yeah, where do you think Loki's gonna end up after this? I think you've sort of touched on it, Tom, that he might look to help destroy the TVA, which sort of that would make sense because the way I see it, he hasn't got he they talked throughout the episode about how his life was set. You know what I mean? Like he did this and this, and he ended with Thanos breaking his neck. Well, he's not in that now. He's outside that. So my understanding was his life's just in the TVA now.
Yeah,
Right? He can't go,
uh,
can't do anything else.
and
So
there's something else that came out this week too that Taika Waititi said or refused to comment on whether Tom Hiddleston was in Thor: Love and Thunder, and then Tom Hiddleston I guess came out and was like, "No, I'm not, and I won't be," which makes me
yeah,
think like even more so that I wonder if the TVA does get destroyed, is he just getting thrown into another universe?
mm. What
if you
what
guys
I
can,
sorry,
if
go
you
on then.
guys can, sorry, if you guys can check the messenger, I sent the photo.
All
I
right,
just wanted to send that or say that, but sorry to cut you guys off.
no, it's fine. No, what I've read on that about Loki being in Love and Thunder is he unless they go back and do scenes after he's always been tied up with other projects. So he hasn't gone across to Australia. Obviously Tom Hiddleston I'm talking about here. So he hasn't been able to do any scenes yet anyway. I don't know if they're still filming on that. I think they still are. So yeah, I think the understanding is he's not going to be in Love and Thunder, and at the moment it's purely because he hasn't been able to to, to go and film. Whether or not to do it may be that he just appears in an end credit scene or something like that. Perhaps I don't know. But I keep forgetting. I mean, I picked up things today, just the other day, because I think it was it was Chris Evans' birthday. That was it,
Yeah,
and
is that
you had
today?
Chris Pratt and yeah, I think it is today or yesterday, maybe. Yeah, it was either today or
Yeah.
yesterday. I don't know. But anyway, it was Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth on picture of them both on set saying sort of happy birthday to him. And was like, oh yeah, I forgot the Guardians are in Thunder, aren't they?
Yeah.
So like that's completely gone off my radar. And it's like, oh yeah, they're there. So there's a lot going on in Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
It would be a shame not to have Loki there, mind. I'll be honest. But maybe there's a lot going on that they don't need him this time round.
Maybe we get a season 2 of Loki. Because if that
I
happens,
thought
I'm
that was
okay.
confirmed.
I don't. I'm not sure yet. to be honest, because like I feel like I hear every other week that either yes, it's happening, or oh, it's not 100% yet.
What's that? Sorry,
The
second
Loki second
series.
season, yeah. So like I, it does seem like it's gonna happen, and if it is officially announced and they're like, okay, yes, it's going to start filming now, then I'll be less upset that he won't be in Thor: Love and Thunder because we're actually gonna get more of
Yeah.
him. But if this
Uh,
is it and he's not in Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't know how I'll feel about that.
yeah. I I get the feeling that it is down to Tom Hiddleston. If he wants to keep doing Loki, I think they'll keep Loki for as long as they can. He's very popular. Um, they've gone in a very good direction with him here. And this is like I think it's like sort of two or three times now he was sort of told, right, you're getting killed off.
Hmm.
Oh, actually now you can come back. And um, yeah, I think it'll be down to him really if he wants to keep going.
Please
Uh,
stay, Tom.
Oh, and I'm sure he wants to stay. Like I'm
mm,
fairly confident he wants to keep going.
yeah,
Uh, same with Hemsworth. I don't think Hemsworth wants to. I know he said he wanted to take a break, and that was after Endgame. He wanted to spend some time with his kid,
Which
which I
is
think he
done.
got that time. But yeah, I don't think Hemsworth said he really wants to go anywhere
yeah.
away from the character of Thor.
I'd be quite happy for these. I know Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. is sort of gone now. Okay, there's options to bring them back,
Yeah.
but I'll be quite happy for the likes of Thor, Loki. Um, if the actors do want to just take a break, go away for 5 years or
Yeah.
so. You know what I mean? Plenty of stuff going on,
Hmm.
and then and come back. And don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon that loving like this Loki seems to be going to be probably the Marvel series, and Love and Thunder I'm looking forward to. But yeah, to keep the characters or keep the actors happy. Yeah, if they want a break, go have a
Hmm.
break and then come back. We don't need to kill characters off, do we? But
Yeah. Well, and especially with
yeah,
the fact that they're gods too, right? Like it's part of their cycle. Like even if they do die, life and rebirth, you can just cast someone else for a bit, and then they can come
yeah,
back. Like it could
yeah,
just be, oh
yeah,
yeah, it's a younger Thor. Or even then, that's pretty much how Lady Loki comes in the comics. Loki dies, he's
yeah,
reborn as a woman.
yeah, yeah. There was art or theory, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but at the end, I don't necessarily buy into this, but um, that at the end of the series, Loki does die, and they bring in is it Kid Loki? Is that the right?
Yeah,
Yeah, purely, and I think that theory came from the fact that they seem to be setting up the Young Avengers, and Kid Loki is in the Young Avengers. Is that correct?
I
Sort of
briefly,
being
briefly.
right, right. I think it was on the back. I think the theory was on the back that Tom Hiddleston might not want to continue after Loki, but they could continue the character by bringing in Kid Loki,
Yeah.
and that sort of feeds into the Young Avengers that it looks like they're setting up. So I can sort of see why, there's bits of things happening that's brought that sort of theory together that, might happen.
Hmm.
Um, so, but yeah, bring. I mean, we're only one episode in,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll be happy with the second series.
Same here.
Well,
I think
and
it
I'm just
deserves
reading
one.
here that I'm just reading here too that Tom Hiddleston said that Loki season one series does have an ending, but will not confirm nor deny that it
Season
will
two.
be setting up for a season two.
Yeah,
And I feel like when they say that with Marvel,
They are.
it's like confirming that there is a season two. Well, because when you
Or
say
at
we will
least more
not
to the
confirm
story.
nor deny, right,
Yeah.
right. Like, oh, we will not say if or if not, this will lead into something else.
yeah,
You don't mess with Marvel fans and say that and like just end it there.
yeah. The thing is, when I'm looking at these TV series, it's not like looking at, I don't know, like a Game of Thrones or something like that where it's a TV series. there's nothing else that's feeding into it.
Yeah.
So you end a series. Is there going to be another one? Yes or no? Whereas Loki could end completely, like you said, Tom. TVA could be gone, whatever. You could really just completely end it, and then a few films down the line, Loki could appear in a few films, and then go right. He's completely in this other different place now. We'll have a series two, and it could just be completely different to Loki
Yep.
series one. But because you've had Loki appear in so many different films, you could then it could be completely they could did not have a series two 5 years down the line or something because
Yeah.
he's in a complete and the same with one looking at the end of One Division you're thinking there's no way they can do a series two of One Division. It just wouldn't work.
Hmm.
But you could still bring them two characters back in to a TV series.
Yeah.
They could go off and do different things in films and you could still have a series two. It would be completely different, but you could still have a series too. And I think that's the beauty of having these TV series mixing in with the wider films in the MCU that you know you can just bring a series two in no bother. So yeah, whatever happens at the end of series one, there could still be a series two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think.
especially with
Yeah,
WandaVision, like, you know, Vision Vision's back alive. You know, like not the Vision we
yeah,
know, but like he exists still again. And, obviously Wanda, she, she's the Scarlet Witch now. Like they literally just like Thor completely recreated this character. Like
mm,
they it's open, for anything really now. And what Paul Bettany said he would love to keep playing, that character.
mm,
Uh, Elizabeth Olsen loves. I think she even said in an interview she did not expect her character to progress this much,
No. Because, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but, like, she's actually a huge comic fan as well.
Oh
all
yes.
right,
Like,
okay,
especially the Scarlet Witch. So, like, when she kind of
Oh
got it, it
wow.
was like, wow. And then they get to do, like, some of the biggest storyline, like, WandaVision, for example, was basically the biggest one she wanted to do was House of M.
mm,
Yep,
Can't
yep.
exactly get there yet because mutants aren't introduced, so you can't really get rid of the mutants if there aren't any. But
yeah,
But now that the
this
book's
is a
open for
starter for
that,
it.
like,
And
mm,
yep.
I would love to see that.
And it's Marvel too. I mean, they don't have any like means to an end yet, you know? Like when they're looking forward to creating movies and shows, they're not like, okay, we're gonna go this far and we're done. No, they want to keep building. Like this is something that's probably gonna go on for like, like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's, they're never gonna say we're done after this movie. They know
yeah,
the fan base is always going to be interested and is always going to be there with new generations upon generations upon generations. And I mean, when you look at Marvel comic books, I mean, what they were started in the 60s,
Yep. Timely
you know?
comics.
Yeah, and I mean, we're in 2021 now, still going,
mm,
like so I mean, when you have that kind of fan base for comic books, then you turn it into a movie, they're just gonna keep going. They're just gonna keep going, and you know, you've got all these actors and actresses who want they want to be a character in the MCU, like whether it's a specific character or just being a part of the style and like the franchise.
yeah,
They have an endless demand of
Yeah.
actors and actresses wanting to play a role, and they have so many stories that they can play off of.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm very excited for the future
mm,
of we're gonna be in our 70s and 80s, and we're you know we're gonna be like, man, remember the MCU started back in 2008? Like,
What
here
what
we
episode?
are in
What
2048, and we're
We've got
still like,
142 movies, 365 series,
what,
right?
what,
42
e- what
tie-in
episode?
books.
What episode of the podcast will we be doing then, though?
Oh, geez, like
Um,
628. No, no.
650. No, I'm just kidding. Something crazy like that.
We're gonna have two different teams of podcast people.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do our own, and then we'll have like our grandkids doing like the new generation, or
So yeah, we're
You,
doing the
you,
original
you,
Avengers. They're doing the Young Avengers.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then we got our like their kids doing like Dark Avengers.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have one more thing to say, but it's not about Loki particularly.
Okay.
So if you do, you guys have anything else you would like to add about this show from what we've seen in
No,
episode 1?
no.
No, I think just to sort of wrap up, I suppose that it was a good first episode. It was um it was a lot of sort of explaining what's going to happen, I think. So
Yeah.
it wasn't massively action packed or anything. Um, I watched it with my wife, who isn't into the MCU, but she's been watching the TV stuff. She enjoyed it, which is for me is always a good sort of measure for how well someone might do, because she wasn't as keen on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which looking back wasn't certainly was nowhere near as good as WandaVision, and doesn't look like it's going to be even close to the heights that Loki is looking to get. But yeah, but in good acting, I enjoyed in particular the scenes between Loki and Morbius.
Oh yeah.
Owen Wilson just I love Owen Wilson's style. I mean, it's very similar in every character he plays in film and TV. But I just love it, and it works. It works here. And
I was gonna say I'm very happy of the role he got. Like 'cause I
mm,
haven't seen Owen Wilson in anything lately,
no,
but for
no,
him to be brought into this, I think it was just
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Not just for Marvel, not just for the MCU, but for him himself
yeah,
too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, yeah. I agree.
very, very, very proud and happy to see
Yeah,
him get
yeah,
that role.
yeah. The scenes. I think I was calling. I've written them down as the interview scene where there's just him and Loki going through Loki's life. Just Morbius seems to be just controlling that whole thing. He knows exactly what to say to him. He knows what he's doing, and it was great. It was great. It was good. It was. I mean, I've said this before with both Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, but the acting from pretty much all of the actors are pretty much on point. But Hiddleston and Owen Wilson in particular in this one. I mean, it's only really them
Great
two, to be
chemistry.
Yeah.
fair.
Great
Um,
chemistry between them.
yeah, yeah, and really enjoyed it. Really good.
Honestly.
Tom, what was your news?
Oh.
Or
It's
you were
it's
gonna
not
say?
exactly news, I guess. I mean, did we talk about Namor getting announced last week?
I
The other
thought
week?
No,
I thought we
no.
brought him up like briefly.
All right. Well,
Did,
let's bring it up again.
what in the podcast did we? I don't think we did or unless you guys did in the last
I
one.
think yeah, I think I'm regardless,
Or I
let's
think
go
we
over
might
it
have just
again.
brought it up. I think we just brought it up in the chat. I don't think we
Yeah,
actually
that might
talked
have been
about
it.
it in the
Yeah, yeah.
pod.
So this wasn't even what I was going to say. I was just thinking about this. It just kind of came off my head cuz I am wearing my Black Panther shirt today. And in turn with that, I don't know why. I was just thinking about it. But yeah, Namor was cast, and for those of you who don't know, Namor the Submariner, of whom Aquaman is actually based off of, not the other way around. Don't get it twisted. He is also a mutant. He is the king of Atlantis, and he will be debuting in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Which he
In what role?
was
We don't know
hinted
yet.
at and he
Yeah.
was hinted at in Endgame, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
what was the
The underwater
something
earthquake.
underwater?
It's like we
Like, oh, it
handle it
was
by
just
not handling
blah
it.
blah blah. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
So yeah, that was something that was exciting that I completely forgot just because I guess we haven't been here for a while.
To me, that was exciting because what I remember at the time in Endgame, when that sort of little hint of like, oh, Neymar's been sort of hinted there, and I'm sure Feige or Kate or the studio came out and said, no, there's no way we're doing Neymar. You know, it's just not happening. I'm sure it was sort of, or my memory of it was, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's because of Aquaman and you know, I just remember us being saying it's just not going to happen. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's happening. It's like,
It's
what
happening.
the hell?
Yeah.
I'm sure I was told that wasn't going to happen, and
Yep.
for some reason I just accepted that, and then the
But
dropped that.
that's such a Marvel thing to do,
Well,
though. I mean,
yeah.
Every
True.
time Feige says something like that, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go back to the Iron Man 2 map and see exactly what was where, because I remember Atlantis on there, sir.
yep,
But
yep.
Oh,
Atlantis,
yeah.
Wakanda, and a mysterious place in Europe as well, which we have yet to
That
see.
ended up being. Oh yeah, no, never mind. I was gonna say, did that end up being Madripoor? But no, it wasn't.
That'd be,
'Cause
if there was one in
that's
Asia,
not.
that would be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not
Yeah.
Europe.
I think it's Latveria, but we don't know that yet. They also didn't have the rights for it then, so they couldn't have done it then.
Name it. Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
to the point I was gonna go on though is I've recently started to rewatch, and I think even watching these new shows, I think it's still gonna hold number one Marvel show for me, Daredevil, because I
Oh,
got a
yeah.
hunch
You've been watching the Netflix TV series
with
Right,
Charlie
yeah.
Cox, and
Yeah.
as we've all heard, there's been more from big leakers. They've more or less confirmed that he's going to be in Spider-Man: No Way Home. I kind of think he will, even more so now. The reporter at the end of Far From Home, who gives the update about Mysterio and then sends it over to J. Jonah Jameson, is in multiple episodes of Daredevil on the TV as a reporter. Same network, same everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
So I want to see
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Well, yeah, I want to see Charlie Cox as well. It has
Oh
to be him.
yeah. And like
Please be him.
when I think it was right after the Loki series got announced, Charlie Cox and Tom Hiddleston were doing a charity event, and Charlie Cox came out dressed as Loki. And guess who Tom Hiddleston came dressed out as? It was Daredevil, and I think this was only like a few years ago. So
They did a play in London together. I know that.
yeah, I think that's what it was for.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh, that'll be good.
so there.
I do. I want to. Yeah. I mean, I think I'd rather have. Oh, and this is a big thing to say. I think I'd rather have Charlie Cox as Daredevil than the other two Spider-Men back.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Don't get me wrong. I would love all of them,
Yeah.
but if I had to pick, I think no,
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't get greedy and say we gotta have them all.
this is it. Yeah, what I do. I want them all, but I'd like to have Daredevil, or at least the Charlie Cox Daredevil in, because that was. I mean, I enjoyed Jessica Jones, but I think Daredevil was the better of the Netflix series.
I
and I
definitely
think
agree
that
with you there.
yeah, I think he could have a future in the MCU.
Agreed.
And I also thought that, Daredevil's main villain in that show is also a big Spider-Man villain, Kingpin.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah. I thought in my mind, that's the definitive version of the Kingpin.
Yeah, he was good.
So
He was good. Who has? I mean, who has the rights to Kingpin? And
Sony, I
Daredevil?
believe, right?
It is Sony.
Marvel.
Oh, really?
Studios
Oh yeah, I
does-
wondered.
Mhm.
I wondered why we'd never seen Kingpin in one of the Spider-Man films, because you think of Spider-Man, I think of Kingpin, I always wondered why we'd never seen him, but that'll probably be why.
And I mean,
Okay.
if it's in No Way Home too, like if we end up seeing Matt Murdock, because I still kind of think we're only probably going to see Matt Murdock in No Way Home. And if we do see Daredevil, it won't be Daredevil in the costume, it'll be Daredevil in the black mask.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know.
I'm still okay with.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah.
I just hope some of these rumors come true, because I am sort of getting to the point where I just think that we're not going to see any of it.
Yeah.
It's literally, it is just going to be, it's just going to be Tom Holland with his mates.
Yeah.
Not going to be any of the others.
Like
Because
Doctor
even
Strange shows up for 5 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that might be as much as we get. But well,
Yeah, we
we'll
were
see.
just completely misled with everything about Spider-Man 3.
It's not actually even a Spider-Man movie, it's just a movie about Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom
do we?
Holland's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, do we know who
Ned
the villain
becomes the
is?
new Spider-Man.
We know two villains in the movie. We know that Electro and
Oh,
Doc
yeah,
Ock,
yes.
from the Raimi universe.
Yeah,
Electro, we
reappearing.
don't know if is from the Web Tasmverse, I guess.
Well, it's Jamie Foxx, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
But it could be a J.K.
yeah,
Simmons situation.
yeah. True.
But then again,
Yeah,
J.K. Simmons actually could be from the multiverse, and like that J. Jonah Jameson could be one of the other ones that just
true. Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, because Far From Home takes place in 2024.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it literally that's the latest thing in the Marvel timeline, because WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldiers before that, Black Widow of course is.
Pre Endgame, like so that's like 2016, 17, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
We'll probably
17. I think
find
it's
more about Shang-Chi and
2017.
Eternals when the time comes, but I'd assume that's probably before Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Eternals, I think, is going to be like
Well,
2003. Like, right. Well, assuming, but I think it's going to be shortly after Endgame.
for at least one of the time periods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely before Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yes, man.
totally forgot that movie's going to jump around a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same honestly. Like I was thinking about it. They didn't really mention time travel at all until like the last three lines of Ant-Man and the Wasp, where Janet's like, "Now don't fall into a time vortex, or else something bad
Yeah,
could
yep.
happen." And then now we've had what's this? This is our second thing involving time travel. We're about to possibly get a third.
Yeah.
Just,
It was something I was dead against as well.
yeah,
It was like, oh, do we really want to?
same here.
Not because I didn't want to see it. I just thought it might lose a lot of fans. It can be a heavy subject, time travel. And difficult to understand. Even for me, I mean, I love time travel films. Absolutely love time travel films, but it can get complicated. And in the MCU, boy, you can get complicated. And it is, to be fair, there's it's thrown a lot of questions. I mean, the main one being, did Cap, what timeline did Cap live in? You know what I mean? At the end of
Yeah.
Endgame, that's one of the biggest ones that's never really been resolved. And I don't think Marvel are bothered. I think they're just gonna do stuff, and questions will be raised, and they'll just crack on. So, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, unless you guys have anything else to add, I believe that brings us to the end of this podcast.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
True. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Episode 2 is out. Well, we are recording this on a Monday, so it will be out in 2 days or a day and a half for us. But if this doesn't end up getting up tonight and ends up going up tomorrow, then we'll see it tonight, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your night, guys. Have a good one, and
Have a good night, everyone.
we'll see you next week.